Okay, welcome back. So, in the previous class, we looked at how to do experimental design, one way another analysis for experimental design, and we went ahead and looked at how to visualize a box plot with ggplot2 and how to add more color so that it looks really clearly and uh, making the plot able to communicate a lot just from the colors, the axis as well. Yeah, so now from the same script we used last time and the same data set we had used, we want to look at how to visualize now a bar plot with ggplot2, and now we can go ahead and look at how to do some chi-square analysis on the categorical variables so that we first of all look if there's kind of association between them for the variables that we had used to predict if they were bringing some kind of effect to our crime count. So for today, we won't be looking at the crime count itself, but we'll look at these variables that we are using to predict the other one. Are they in any way kind of having association between themselves? Not on how they're contributing towards the crime count or the crime count committed. So let us just run this and for those who haven't watched the previous video, you can simply watch it. It's above there. So this is how we concluded last time. We are having some hypothesis set. The main effects of this are the same. Then the alternative is not. H not, meaning the main effects are not the same. So from the summary of this, then we can say there's a way in which crime type is contributing towards the crime count in a really high way, then as well as age group, and again the interaction between there's a combined effect between crime type and gender, and there's a way in which it is contributing. So the others, like interaction between crime type and age group, these ones are not contributing in any way towards the crime count. Then the gender is as well not contributing for that particular municipality, not for the general. So if you want more information towards how which municipality it is, then you can simply email me directly through the email address that I have just included under the description section of the video. So let's go ahead and so we have like three variables uh, that we want to look at in this session. But before we do that, let's go ahead and look at how we can visualize uh, a bar plot. So the first line, this is just for the basic structure of the ggplot, yeah. So for this case, I want to have something like crime count on still the x-axis, but now for this case, I'll have coloring in terms of, yeah, I want crime type to come to this, then coloring in terms of gender, coloring in terms of gender. Then now I want to define my geometrics. Right now it is under box plot, but I want to define it into bar. And as you're drawing a bar plot, additionally you have to define this one start is equals to identity. So having that, then I'll now say that this one is a bar plot, uh, between what? Between crime count and crime type and crime type, mm, crime type, and additionally it is looking at the gender really closely. So let's look at what this one is giving us. So this one was the previous plot of the box plot. You can see how the coloring is in terms of crime type, the age group as well coming clearly here on the y-axis of the crime count. So it's kind of an inverted box plot whereby it's going towards the right. So the crime count is stretching to 20. So let's look at how our box plot is now. So as you can see here, I'll zoom it so that it is clear there as well. So you can see the box plot we are having theft really high, followed closely by assault, not really closely. Then now assault is followed closely by house breakage, then disturbance, drug abuse, and the last as arson. So this is distribution in terms of gender, male, female. So this is for a particular municipality. So if at all we have data collected for some particular place, then we can do it. So again, I can give you some what we'll be working on really closely going forward. We want to look at some more interesting data sets like human trafficking. We want to look at, for example, how we can understand maybe data towards our marketing and our direction of marketing and targets. So those are what we are going to work on next, and how we can use the information and make something that can now be used to help us make the work really efficient in terms of that is simple saying deployment. After having our data set advising our marketing, then which tool are we going to use for that purposes? That is working towards how our data is directing us. So those are what we're going to focus on coming next. So what you need to do, simply subscribe to the channel. On the comment section, please just write down what you would want us to do next. We are paying attention on that. So let's now proceed to the next thing. When I look at this, I'm having how many columns? I'm having in terms of this. So I want some so I'm having a wrong spelling and a between. Yeah, so just edit it. So you have to pay close attention. You can see my between really wrong. So you have to pay some close attention in terms of how you are giving your graph a title. So when you have a wrong spelling, it can really be disastrous. Okay, so let's look at how we can do chi-sqaure on this. Now chi-sqaure for association tests. So if you want to add some comments, simply have a hash. So now this one I'll have my h naught, and this one I'll set it as this no association. So alternative or h1 or h alternative is simply there as associated.